Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel Scent Magnifique. It's been a while since I made a video, but today I'm really excited to be sharing with you my top 10 rose fragrances. So let's dive straight into it. At number 10 we have Toy Boy by Moschino. Now Toy Boy is a really polarizing fragrance. If you read about it on the fragrance forums, you'll find that that people have very strong reactions to this one. I, over time, have kind of understood why. I mean, I really like this fragrance. That's why it's on the list. It's a very good performer. It's very good value for money, and it's very unisex. I find it was marketed at men, and I think some men found it to be too feminine. But let's have a sniff. Yeah, so basically it's a very strong prominent rose note and a very strong prominent pear note right out the gate. And for that reason, it's quite sweet. Yeah, it's very sweet actually. And it's actually got a kind of lot of depth to it as well. So there's some vetiver and sandalwood in the base. And for that reason, it's kind of quite long lasting. It can get quite cloying in hot weather, so I wouldn't recommend it for summer. I do like this in autumn, I like it in winter, I like it in spring. The reason it's so low down the list for me, as I say, it's a polarizing scent and some people really don't like it, so I'm a bit kind of wary about where I would wear it. And I wouldn't wear it to work, for example. I think that's just a no-no for me. Probably the best place for this would be in a nightclub, to be honest. And I don't go nightclubbing anymore, so I don't have that much opportunity to wear it. But yeah, nighttime, you want to make a big impact, you want to make a big impression. Toy Boy by Moschino, number 10. Number 9 is Frederick M's Rose and Queer. Now, this is a really interesting fragrance. Very different to Moschino's Toy Boy in that it's a very serious fragrance, it's very somber, it's very I actually was reflecting on it, and I actually wore this to a funeral once, so that gives you kind of an idea of the kind of fragrance that it is. It's very strong, it's a very good performer. Queer is obviously French for leather, so it's a rose and leather fragrance. The leather is not what you would expect from leather, so it smells nothing like Tom Ford's ombre leather, for example. It's a very different kind of, almost like a suede rather than a leather. But it's a very beautiful fragrance, very elegant. You might wear it somewhere where you want to where it's a serious setting, but you want to make an impression. So yeah, as I say, an important meeting where I want to be taken seriously, but I want to make an impression, or likewise, something like a funeral. So that's Frederick Mal, Rose and Queer, number 9. Then at number 8, we have Diptyque's Orono Rossa. So this one is no longer in production, and Diptyque, if you're watching, please bring this one back. Please bring it back. In fact, this one was never available in stores. It was only ever available online, but it's not even available online anymore. And for me, this was the kind of perfect balance of rose and vetiver. It's very unisex, compliment getter. It's got ambrette in it as well, so it's slightly warmer than other vetiver rose fragrances. Good performance, not a summer fragrance. I've worn it in summer, and that's the only time where I kind of didn't enjoy the wear, but very much autumn, winter and spring. So that's number 8, and it's Orono Rossa by Diptyque. Number 7 is Diptyque's Kyoto. Now this is another one that's unavailable. It was for Diptyque's, I think it was their 50th anniversary back in 2021. And I love this fragrance. Another one on Dipti, please bring this back. You can't get it anywhere now. It's again rose vetiver, but it's mixed with incense and beetroot in this case. So beetroot being a really unexpected note. And what the beetroot does is it gives it a sort of vegetable note, vegetable feel to it, vegetal. And as a result, it's very unisex, very interesting fragrance. And again, this one is very, very autumn. You know what I mean? You could say that, this would be in my top 5 of autumn fragrances, because there's something about that combination of incense, beetroot, vetiver and rose that just seems to go really well with autumn. Spring likewise, and maybe, so it's a spring autumn fragrance, I'd say. I probably wouldn't wear it to work, but it's a nice daytime or evening fragrance, and leisure basically. So Kyoto Diptyque, number 7. Number 6 is ASOS Rosu. Now, I mean, this is really quite special. So, quite an expensive scent because they're only 50ml bottles at ASOS, and it's quite expensive for, I can't remember how much it was now, but it's I use it sparingly basically, and it's got some oud in it, this one, so it's got quite a heavy base to it. It's a heavier rose fragrance, even though I wouldn't say the performance is that great, but it's quite unique compared to all the other rose fragrances that are on the list. It's almost difficult to describe it. It's got a sort of woodiness underneath it. It's very typical of ASOS, in fact. It's got that kind of botanical kind of apothecary feel around it. And you could even say it's got a sort of, I don't know, maybe like a sort of spiritual aspect to it. And this one is great again for autumn, winter, spring. Again, I wouldn't wear this one in summer. So that's number 6, ASOS Rosu. Number 5 is a classic, Rose 31 by Le Labo. So Rose 31 is, for me, possibly the most wearable and the most unisex fragrance on the list. It's actually been around for a while, this fragrance. It was the early 2000s that they brought this out. But I have to say, it smells, it's probably the most sort of modern or contemporary fragrance on the list in terms of how it smells. And that is a really, really unisex rose note. And it's got cumin in the opening, so it's got this kind of sort of spicy aspect to it. It's got vetiver in the base. But more than anything, what's unique about this one is it's got a frankincense note, and the frankincense note is not that common in perfumery. Diptyque have just brought out a fragrance called Luna Maris, and it also has a prominent frankincense note, and these smell quite similar. Both quite expensive fragrances, I have to say. Rose 31, you could literally wear this anywhere, and I would literally feel comfortable wearing this anywhere. I probably don't wear it so much for that reason, because I quite like to wear something a bit kind of out there. But this one is very harmonious. I don't think people would get offended by this too easily. You could wear it to work, and you can pretty much wear it in all seasons. But like some of the other ones, it's not necessarily a summer fragrance. I don't think rose is the most is the first thing that comes to mind for summer wears. But that's Rose 31 by Le Labo at number 5. Number 4 is, and let me get the pronunciation of this right, L'Artisan Perfumier. I don't speak French, I speak Spanish, but so that's me butchering the French language. And it's Conte du Levant. And this one has been described as a kind of knockoff of Portrait of a Lady. I don't think that's fair, because I think the comparison is coming because of the patchouli and rose combination, and any fragrance which has rose and patchouli mixed together tends to have this kind of strong accord, which makes them sort of all fairly similar because it tends to dominate everything else. But Conte du Levant, let's have a sniff. So it's Portrait of a Lady for me, but more masculine. So I think this is a sort of more acceptable alternative to Portrait of a Lady for men if you feel self-conscious wearing Portrait of a Lady, for example. It doesn't perform quite as well, which is probably a good thing because Portrait of a Lady is very strong. But what it has, this one, is that it's got the rose and patchouli accord, but in the top there is pink pepper, white pepper, and black pepper. And the pepper gives it like, it reminds me of Milton Brown's fragrance. There's a pepper fragrance from Milton Brown. So it's got like a more kind of traditional masculine feel to it, especially in the dry down. And for that reason, I bought it and I really like it. So I'm actually wearing it today, this one, funnily enough. So that's L'Artisan Perfumier's Conte du Levant at number 5. Number 4 Number 3 is Diptyque's Eau Rose. So this one came on my radar earlier this year. Diptyque did have an eau de toilette of Eau Rose. They've had that for a while, and this one came out recently. It's the parfum version of Eau Rose. And this one is so high up on the list because of its versatility. So it's quite unexpected in that it's rose mixed with artichoke and chamomile notes. And on paper, I wouldn't have been drawn towards that, but what it does is that it gives the rose a kind of vegetal feel to it, and it makes it less sweet and more unisex or more masculine than maybe some of the other combinations of the other fragrances on the list. And for that reason, I just enjoy wearing it anywhere. So I could wear it to work, I could wear it out with friends, I could wear it in the daytime, I could wear it in the evening. I probably, maybe again, summers would wear it less in summer, but it's a great spring, autumn fragrance, that's for sure. And yeah, incredibly versatile. So that's why Eau Rose Eau de Parfum by Diptyque is at number 3. Then we have number 2. I wonder if you know what it's going to be. It's Frederick Mal's Portrait of a Lady. So, Portrait of a Lady, there's a lot already been said about this. There's a video about this on my channel if you want to do a deep dive on Portrait of a Lady. But Portrait of a Lady, I'm gonna spray it even though I've got so little left and it's so expensive. But yeah. So Portrait of a Lady is the ultimate rose patchouli scent. However, it has so much depth to it. It's got benzoin and it's got incense in the base, and it gives it, I think it's like the deepest, darkest fragrance I've ever smelled. And it's got amazing performance. Madonna wears it. This is Madonna's signature scent. So you can only imagine how much character it has. It's at number 2 because I can't wear this one very often. It's too attention seeking. Not too attention seeking, but it's too obvious when you're wearing it. So I have to be in a certain frame of mind to wear it. It has to be a certain occasion. I wouldn't feel comfortable wearing this to work. I wouldn't feel comfortable in most places in the daytime wearing it. I would wear it on date night. I would wear it on special occasions, very happily so. But for that reason, it's at number 2. It would have been number 1 otherwise because it is kind of one of the definitive rose fragrances. So yeah, Portrait of a Lady, Frederick Mal, number 2. Number 1 is, and if you know any of my other videos, you might know what's coming, but if you don't, it's Eau Capitale from Diptyque. Now, everybody, who's seen my channel before knows that I absolutely love Diptyque as a brand, and Eau Capitale, I would say, was probably my signature fragrance. And Eau Capitale is compared a lot to Portrait of a Lady. I understand the comparison. It's a rose patchouli fragrance, dominant, heavy. However, where Portrait of a Lady is mixed with benzoin and sandalwood and incense, this one is bergamot. So it's a much more refreshing fragrance, and for that reason, this combination of this dominant rose patchouli accord mixed with the bergamot makes it much more wearable for me and much more versatile. So this is the one fragrance in my collection which I could wear all year round. So spring, summer, autumn, winter. I'd enjoy wearing it in all of those seasons, and that's why it's probably my signature fragrance, because it just kind of can be worn on so many occasions. It's a very good performer as well, so I would say it was kind of it's maybe not as kind of beast mode as Portrait of a Lady, but it's as it performs really well. You know what I mean? It lasts throughout the day and other people can smell it on you, and it's a compliment getter. So Eau Capitale, number 1 on my top 10 list of rose fragrances. I'm really curious to get your feedback on this list. I'm curious if there's something that didn't get on the list which you really think is one of the best rose fragrances around. If you've got any comments, any ideas for next videos. So I look forward to having the discussion in the comments. Thanks.